So welcome. This is Kourtney Govro and
Patty Gregory.
And we are here giving you a quick conversation that we're calling The Giving Stitch.
The Giving Stitch.
We thought that was creative.
It's all about giving.
It is all about giving and stitching and keeping you in stitches as we go along. So we wanted to get together and have conversations and just talk about some of the topics of how do we be obnoxiously, obscenely generous.
Absolutely. We want to give back to our communities.
Give back to our communities, just the way Project Linus does. So Patty is the president of Project Linus.
I am.
Tell me a little bit about Project Linus.
Project Linus is a national nonprofit. We have chapters all over the United States. I'm adding 12 new ones this week.
12 new chapters.
Yeah, so it'd be somewhere around 320. That's amazing.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, and so...
That's amazing.
All over the U.S.
320 different groups of people.
Yep, all over the U.S., all the different states, every single one of them. And they make blankets for ill and traumatized children, and they pass them out. And we've delivered over 10 million blankets so far.
10 million. That's a lot of blankets.
It's a lot of blankets.
You know, more than that, it's a lot of kids.
It is.
A lot of kids that have needed a hug.
It's a lot of kids that have needed a hug. And, you know, we talk about, yay, we're going to celebrate that 10 million, but we also talk about, wait, there was 10 million kids that needed that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's kind of a double-edged sword.
It is a little bit of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's great because there's people in the community that need something to do.
Absolutely.
And there's people in the community that need to receive something. And I love the way Project Linus does both.
It does. Yes, our mission statement is both. We're going to help these kids, but we're also going to give back to the community in having something for them to give to those kids.
Yeah, the stats on retirement are actually kind of staggering. There's a huge amount of people that are retiring. And what I've found running the quilt shop is they just don't know what to do with their time.
And that's why I'm afraid to retire.
That is actually true. We talked about it last night.
I'm afraid to retire. What would I do? How would I fill my time? I mean, yeah.
You will make more blankets.
I will probably make more blankets. That's right. But, you know, not that I'm retiring tomorrow, but someday down the road.
Don't get that rumor out there.
Don't start that one.
Patty is revealing things.
No, but
this is
you
such
know,
a powerful podcast.
Exactly. But eventually, somewhere down the road, and my husband's retired and he's at home all the time. And I'm like, how do you? I don't know what you do all day. It would make me crazy.
It would make me crazy too.
Yeah.
Actually, that week I was sick, where I was sick for 2 days. I was literally sick for 2 days. Like 2 days, I couldn't come in the shop and do something. And then one day, David said I needed just to sit still and get better. And I was miserable. I was like, I got to do something.
Have seen that.
It was awful. I sat there and I was like, pulled my computer out. He's just like, put the computer away and rest. And I'm like, I am resting. I'm totally resting. So it was
very
awful.
hard. It's very hard for some people to rest.
It is.
It really is.
And I really feel for people that come in the shop and are looking for something to do, looking for community.
Yes.
And with 320 different chapters, there's 320 different opportunities for community.
Absolutely. And we're very fortunate here that they can come in and they've kind of become their own little group and their own little family.
Yeah.
And I think that all chapters could do that.
Yeah. Well, that's a great point. You know, we started a thing called Volunteer Day. So every Tuesday, people come in and they make Linus blankets or whatever charity project we're working on together. And they've made friends. They go to lunch together a lot and dinner together and hang out together. Some of them have become the best of friends.
They check on each other.
They do.
If one of them doesn't show up, where is she?
Why isn't she here?
Why isn't she here? That sort of thing. Yeah.
And we've expanded that from just a volunteer day into our volunteer quilters army, and they're part of our quilters club, and they get together and talk about doing long arm quilting. So we take it from stem to stern, from cutting the block all the way to putting it together here.
Well, and with the quilt shop here, we have, last year we did, I don't even remember, it was well over 1,000 blankets. Was it 2,000?
Oh, it was over 2,000, yeah.
So, and this year our goal is to do twice that many, and we're well on our way. So,
we are doing good.
Yeah.
But every quilt shop could do this.
Absolutely.
And we do a quilt blanket per month. So we do a quilt pattern and a kit per month that people can do at their homes. They don't have to come here. They can buy it, do it, bring it back. They can even send us the tops, which is a big deal for a lot of people.
Right. And of course you want to check with your chapter before you do that, because some of the chapters don't have the Quilters Army that we have.
Yes, we do. We have over 80 people in our Quilters Army.
Yeah.
That do long arm quilting, and we use, a lot of them use the Grace Company products because that's what we sell here in the shop, and we teach them how to do it. So it's been great.
And I think that if the chapters work together, you'll find people like, I love to bind quilts. Crazy, I know, but I it is, but I love to bind quilts. So that's one thing that I'll do when somebody else doesn't like to do it.
Yeah.
So, and some people love to quilt.
Right.
Other people just like to piece.
Right.
And so it works really well.
And we found even people that aren't part of our quilting, like they're not ready to start quilting, they'll come in and cut, and they'll come in and help package and do some different things for us. So it's worked real well. So all the quilt shops could get in on that, which brings me to the topic we were going to talk about today, the crisis of Joann's. Yeah. Is it a crisis?
It's really not a crisis. It really is not a crisis at all.
You don't think so?
No.
It seems like it. There's a lot of people coming in feeling like the world's on fire.
I know that. And for Project Linus, it's been, oh my gosh, where am I going to drop off my quilts?
Yeah.
Well, before Joann's, we were with Joann's for about 5 years. And before that, we had other drop-off points, and we will have other drop-off points again. It will be fine. It's not the end of the world. Everything will work out.
Everything will work out.
So we've just been comforting people and telling them it's okay. It's, I saw a really interesting deal about how Joann's went around and bought up all these little small companies, and they became this huge, huge company. And when it failed big.
Yeah.
So, I think we need to go back to the small mom and pop shops.
I hope so. And I really hope that as you guys kind of look out in your communities, you can find some of these quilt shops, because there's a lot of us out there. And I'll tell you, we sell these kits for our blankets, for our monthly Linus blankets.
Every month, yeah.
And they range anyway from $30 to $60. $60 is a really high price point for our Linus blankets, but those $60 ones are the big teen size ones,
right?
Or what we would use as our twin size blankets.
And unfortunately, my chapter needs a lot of twin, and so that's why we do that. But other chapters might not need as many twin. And we also work with Sleep in Heavenly Peace, so that's the bigger ones. So, but a lot of chapters just do medium and small. Yeah. So,
and those, I mean, that's a $20, $30 kit.
Absolutely.
And we really work with our vendors even to help us. So a lot of the quilt shops, if you're a quilt shop out there and you're watching, you can call your vendors and say, I am doing a Project Linus blanket. I worked with one of my vendors, and I said, I'm going to do a Project Linus special blanket out of this. We bought extra. We talked with them, and they really did help us out a lot on figuring out what we needed, and maybe even helping with a little discount. You might be able to negotiate that in.
Right. And I think that it stands to really increase the traffic at the quilt shops.
It does. And being a drop-off point as a quilt shop has been great.
You're bringing people in.
They do. They come in, and for us, it's the people dropping off the tops. It's the quilters coming in to pick up the tops, and then it's our binders. We have 3 different groups of people that actually do the work here. And so a lot of different people come in your door. It's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. We've got people coming in, and they don't just drop. Then they're going to shop.
They do shop.
They're going to check out the shop. They're going to,
Yeah.
I think it's just a good thing. It's a win-win for Project Linus. It's a win-win for the quilt shops.
Yeah.
And I think it's time for us to kind of go back to that.
Back to the basics.
Absolutely.
And I will say the other thing is, if you are coming in to drop off your Project Linus blanket, take some time and shop. Even if you just buy a fat quarter, it does mean a lot to the local shop that you're helping them out. And we know, believe me, every single person that walks in the shop says, I have as much fabric as your quilt shop. And those are the people I know that are going to spend like $400.
And we always,
absolutely.
I have closets full of fabric. I don't need another piece of fabric for as long as I live, but I must buy more.
Yes. Especially
it's that disease.
It is a little bit of a
It's a little bit of a disease.
It's a syndrome.
Yes.
So what were the things I was not allowed to talk about? It was the butt cracks and boogers.
Oh, please.
Well, we edit that out.
And go in the bathroom and glow in the dark fabric.
Glow in the dark fabric. We do go in the bathroom when we get glow in the dark fabric.
Absolutely.
Because it's the darkest room in the shop. We do not have other dark spaces.
And if you really want to be entertained, watch us sew together.
Oh my gosh. I will just say, and we are going to. At some point, we're going to long arm together. Patty has committed to, and I will just tell you, I don't long arm. I can demonstrate a long arm, but I don't long arm. But Patty has committed to showing me and making me do that. Forcing.
Oh, that would be fun. I can't wait. Let's do it.
We should do it. She did bring me tea. I was like, how are we going to make this a fun show? She goes, I'll bring you some
I'll
tea.
bring you tea, but I brought her unsweetened tea.
I don't do sweet.
Yeah.
I am sweet, but I don't do sweet. So what are the
Who
kind of
tells
things?
you that? Oh goodness! See, I'm going to make her cough because she's not quite over her cold yet.
The cold's done. It's just the lung inflammation's been kind of stinky. But so Joann's, one of the interesting things that I have found, because I've been really polling our shoppers and talking to our shoppers, what do you buy at Joann's other than
what are you going to
fleece
miss?
and flannel? And the
Right.
big things they do miss is fleece.
Right.
And you have a solution for that through
I do have a
Project
solution
Linus.
for that.
And
Yes.
it's a website, and you can go to the Project Linus group page and find that website.
Absolutely. Yes.
If you are addicted to fleece.
If you need fleece, he'll work with you. There's a Linus code. It gives you a discount.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super nice guy.
And we really did try. I was like, maybe we can get fleece. Maybe, and what you guys are buying it at Joann is cheaper than I can buy it at cost, even at sale cost. And so it doesn't work for most quilt shops to carry a large quantity of fleece.
And to order from this guy, he sent me samples, and I'm telling you, it's better quality than what Joann's was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That fleece is real thin at Joann.
Super thin.
And it's hard to work with. But
once again, they buy it cheap.
Yeah.
They buy it massive amounts cheap, and then they ship it all over the country. And so.
But when you get a blanket from Joann, from the fleece, you want it single ply.
I want single ply, yes.
And then
just fringe and tied. But some chapters want double.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like so like your states that are way up north where it's really, really cold, they'll want double.
Really?
Yeah. And the weirdest thing is there's a Dallas chapter that wants double.
Really?
Dallas, Texas.
But our hospitals locally, they don't want
They don't want them. They say it mimics a fever.
Yeah.
Because they make the kids so warm.
Yeah, because it's a not natural fiber, so it doesn't bleed.
Yeah, it's a polyester.
Breathe. Not bleed. Breathe.
We don't do blood here.
No, we don't. Absolutely
no
not.
blood.
That's why I got out of healthcare.
No blood.
Yeah.
They don't breathe, and so the kid is coming out of surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Well, does this child have a fever, or is this child warm because it's been piled on with these heavy blankets? So yeah.
Huh,
so we don't want
that's interesting.
Those. Yeah.
The other one, what we are able to really accommodate has been flannel.
Flannel.
But we do have to, if you own a quilt shop, you do have to work with your manufacturers on that, because flannel can cost as much as your quilter's quality cotton.
Absolutely.
From a cost perspective.
Absolutely.
And so we've worked with some vendors and talked with them, and they may be clearing out some. And that's how you get a hold of the flannels that you can do. We do $12 receiving blanket kits. Mm-hmm. And that is a yard and a half and a yard.
It's a self-binding receiving blanket.
Yeah.
And it's 2 pieces of flannel, a 40 by 40, a 30 by 30. We sew them together, and the hospitals here want them for their NICUs and for their new babies.
Yeah.
With parents that come in with nothing and have nothing, and they're taking this baby home in whatever the hospital provides.
Yeah. And we've been working on how many? 200 a month?
220 a month.
Yeah. For one hospital.
One hospital.
And they have an influx of people that really have struggled and
have nothing.
And so they're sending them home with things. And we are just glad, please just punch, to be able to give them something that they can take home.
They're the one hospital that will deliver with no insurance.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good hospital.
It's a good hospital.
It's a good hospital. Because when you're ready to get the baby out, you're ready to get the baby out.
You don't have much choices. Yeah,
that's right.
You can't just
what
go
are they
stay.
Say? Cross your legs and go to the next one down the street? I mean, what the heck? Right. Sorry, that was probably going to get edited out.
And they plan ahead, and they can tell me, we expect to have this many mothers deliver this month, and that's
crazy?
What we try to do. Yeah.
But they can predict that.
Yeah.
And then Super Bowl babies, there's probably like a huge influx.
This month, for some reason, we're down to like 180. Oh, but last month it was 220. So every month is a little bit different. Yeah. Every month's a little bit different.
Every month is.
Yeah.
But that for your quilt shop owners, just know that those are some things that you can usually call in and find some closeout fabric. Find something from your good vendors. One of the things that's hard is you don't want to buy the cheap, not good quality ones.
Right.
And that's one of the things I think that's really
We don't
hard.
want to wash them, and then the first time you wash them, you have pilling, and they don't look good.
I like to say to people, because we've had some people ask us some questions about our fabric being expensive, because we are a quilt shop. We have quilt shop quality fabric. And they're like, well, it's for charity. And I was like, would you give it to your grandbaby?
And that's what we always say.
Yes.
Would you give it to your child or your grandchild? Is it
Yes.
something you'd be proud to give away?
Yes.
Just because it's charity doesn't mean that it should be poor quality.
Exactly.
It should be good quality fabric.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's been one of the things. I know people are doing it on a budget, and we totally appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Completely. But I really do believe that if you're working with your local quilt shop and you're working with
your local chapter
your
coordinator.
local chapter
Absolutely.
coordinator, you can find some. And there's a lot of fabric that's available on the market that's high quality.
Right, absolutely. And the thing of it is, we all have leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the quilt shop, you buy an extra quarter of a yard in case you mess up, and then you don't mess up, and then you've got this whole pile of extra fabric.
Exactly.
You got to have something to do with it.
And that brings me to a really good topic. Patty's Scrappy Sew.
Scrappy Sewing with Patty.
Scrappy Sewing with Patty. I'm glad I said that backwards.
Yeah, Scrappy Sewing with Patty.
Scrappy Sewing with Patty. And our friend, J9.
J9. Yep.
We don't call her Janine, but we call her J9.
J9.
She writes those patterns.
She does.
For free for Patty.
She does. Yep. I'll say, hey, what if we do this? And I can draw it up, and then she'll write up the pattern. And she's really good at it.
She's a genius.
And she told me today she's got 54 more in the works.
Wow.
So Scrappy Sewing with Patty will go on forever.
And we are going to have a whole piece where we talk about how you organize and sort your scraps.
Absolutely. Because that's important.
It is.
It can be so overwhelming if you just throw them all in a tub, and trust me, take it from somebody who's done that. This is not a good idea.
No.
Because never do you want to go sort through that tub.
Yeah.
So if you cut, like if you have something left over and you cut your scraps right then and you put them in your baskets that are labeled, then when you find your pattern, you're set and ready to go. Well,
and that's a great point, because a lot of times when we buy our quilts, and a lot of our patterns are generous, or our kits are generous, you'll end up with a fat quarter. You'll end up with some extra in it. Or if you have the opportunity, every once in a while, we do $2 fat quarters or whatever.
Right.
Every once in a while, there's shops that do that. You can go in and grab you some in color coordinates, and then you put them away.
Right.
I have one little gal that comes in on Thursdays, and she's always buying in sets of 3 color coordinates, because she knows that she can then put them in her bins and knows to eventually make a quilt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know, there's basics, 10-inch, 5-inch, 2.5 inch, 2.5 by 4.5.
Yeah.
Those basics. We'll go over that in a video.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and there's fun with that one.
And we'll do a cheat sheet that they can download.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I like to make downloadables.
She does.
I love the Canva. So we do have some really good topics coming up.
We really do.
Scrap management. That's the big one.
Definite, yes.
Stash busting. We have a big one on stash busting.
That would be great.
And then we have one on self-binding baby blankets. We are going to do a whole session on that.
We've done a video before, but we'll do a better one.
It was fun. We did it at the shop. It's one of my best TikTok videos.
It is. It had the most hits. What did you say? We're viral.
We're viral, but not like my cold.
But I think we were viral because everybody thought we were hilarious.
We didn't know what we were doing.
We didn't.
Like, I'm popping over Patty's head, and it was a lot of fun.
And I think I'm looking at the camera, and I'm not looking at the camera.
No, she wasn't at all. No. Sometimes we got the back of her head.
And I'd say, see this? And she'd be over there. And
where you at?
We'll do a better job.
So we're going to have tools you need and how to organize. One of the things we're going to do, which is actually going to be kind of fun, is we're going to go to like Harbor Freight and get some fun things and show you how you can
shop at Harbor Freight with you with us. That'll be so much fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. And then we are also going to talk about making a fleece blanket properly, because that's one of the actual big challenges.
Absolutely.
Isn't that?
That is the worst. We get them with salvages still on.
Oh no.
Because I mean, if you're in a quilt shop and you know to sew all the time, but what happens is we get scout groups and different people.
Yeah.
And then they don't know. They don't have a clue what a salvage is. And so you say, cut the salvage off, and they're like,
you say
what?
Salvage?
Salvage.
I say salvage.
I'm from Kansas.
Salvage.
I wash my dishes
salvage.
too.
She washes them.
I washes them, yes. And I have a roof.
A roof?
On my house, a roof.
I have a roof.
My grandsons make fun of me.
What do they say?
I don't know. I can't even, because I say
roof.
And I say
pumpkin.
I say, let's go wash the dishes. And they're like, Grandma, it's wash. There's no R in it.
Wash.
Wash.
I say Florida.
Cut the salvages off.
Cut the salvages off in Florida. David makes fun of Florida. And sometimes I try to slow myself down and not say.
And when we're talking about the fleece blankets, we have to talk about scissors.
We do.
We'll get into scissors.
Springy scissors.
Yeah.
Because your hands are going to hurt.
Right.
But we are going to do all sorts of fun things. And we are going to show you some easy ways you can use your scraps. We're going to talk about some different things. Like we are going to do a whole session, not probably on this long arm, but probably on Patty's long arm, where I learned the long arm.
Absolutely.
We may show you on this. This is a great way to
Do you
long
realize
arm.
that means I have to clean my long arm room? Oh my. We'll get it done.
We are. You're going to see all sorts of. I've seen a lot of these podcasts, and it's like they're in a very perfect, pristine little location. I'm like, that's not us.
That's not us. That's never going to work.
I was like, can we drag the cow chairs in for this?
Yeah, we absolutely did. We moved them, and everybody's looking at us like, what are they doing?
I just thought it would be more comfortable because we were sitting on the rolly chairs, and I'm like, I'm going to fall out of this.
People do fall out of those.
They do. Actually, when we do the barn, we're not doing rolly chairs.
I think that's great.
Because what happens is they sit and they get their rear end or right on the edge and it goes.
And the chair goes. Whoop.
It's like a turtle. You know, you pop it on the back and it flips and rolls.
It's an insurance issue.
It is an insurance issue. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. David said we're not doing it.
No,
so
we need chairs that all four stay on the ground.
Yes. We're also going to do a special episode one time on charity projects. So different things that quilt shops can do.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't always have to be a blanket.
It doesn't. And it doesn't have to be about Project Linus. There's so many different things out there that you can make and give back to your community. There's just tons of things.
We say in our shop, obscenely, obnoxiously generous.
Absolutely.
And we think that if you're sitting here and you come in and say, I have got such a stash, awesome. You know, there's a lot of places that could use your stash. We make doggy bandanas for the local shelter.
Right.
We make toothbrush holders for the local homeless shelter.
The bags.
We made the bags for Manos Amigas, which is a organization out of Mexico, and it was to carry their papers back and forth to the doctor.
Right.
And then we've even made little baskets with towels and things for the tiny homes for the veterans.
Absolutely. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a great project.
Yeah.
That kept our room. I mean, it was like a little sweatshop in here when we were working on that. Our volunteers, we've really only got 3 sewing machines in our current space.
It's May 1st.
May 5th. May 5th.
Oh, sorry, May 5th. Sorry, David.
Don't
May
rush
5th.
us. So we don't rush anything. We've missed the date 3 times now. May 5th.
May
is the
5th.
Date. And then we will have space for 30 or more people to come sew.
Right.
And I am expecting
and we'll have
volunteers.
projects for them.
Yeah, we will.
Yep.
So
lots
super
of things
excited.
to do. Yep.
So anything else you think we should tell them?
I don't know. Is that all of our list?
That was our genius list.
That's our genius list so far. We'll come up with more. And of course, if there's things you want us to talk about, you can always tell us.
Yeah, because, you know, the Joann's not a crisis.
It's definitely not a crisis.
We've got a solution. Let's put it that way. It might feel like a crisis, but there are solutions to that problem.
Tomorrow we'll wake up and it won't be a problem.
It won't. There'll be a new location for you. And I know everybody's got different spots and they're like, I don't know where I'm going to drive to do this. You know, it's an opportunity to get in touch with Project Linus at projectlinus.org.
Absolutely.
And reach out and get connected with some people in that group.
And if you don't have, I know a lot of people live rural and they don't have close neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have close neighbors, there's always different groups, church groups and different groups that work together and start something. If there's nothing in your area, start something.
If you're concerned about it, do something. I do love that idea.
Pay it forward and just go give something to somebody.
Yeah. And
make somebody's day.
Yeah. Somebody said, I don't have space. I'm like, you have a kitchen table and 2 people can sit and where 2 or more are gathered. It's a good day.
It's a good thing.
It's a good day. All right. Well, thanks for watching and you have a great day.
Thanks.